The city breathes in shades of gray. Rain falls like a permanent curse, washing the streets clean, but never touching the grime that runs deeper. They call it progress, this jungle of steel and glass, but all I see are taller shadows for secrets to hide in. I'm Eli Mercer, just another cog in the machine, another face lost in the crowd, working a dead-end job at an insurance tech firm where dreams go to be filed away and forgotten. My life was a predictable loop of bad coffee, flickering screens, and the monotonous hum of servers, until tonight. It was just another late night at the office, the kind where the silence is so loud it rings in your ears. I was wrapping up, ready to disappear back into the anonymity of the rain-soaked streets, when an email landed in my inbox, encrypted, marked for internal security only. Curiosity is a dangerous thing in a city like this. Mine was about to get me killed. I shouldn't have opened it. I know that now. But the temptation? It was a pull I couldn't resist. My fingers danced over the keyboard, and with a final click, my world cracked open. It wasn't a file. It was a flood. A torrent of secrets I was never meant to see. Glitching images of city officials shaking hands with shadows. Schematics for weapons shipments. Biometric data faces, names, lives reduced to code. The city's corruption laid bare on my screen in stark, undeniable black and white. My heart hammered against my ribs. I felt a cold sweat break out on my forehead, a feeling entirely different from the city's damp chill. This was the kind of information that didn't just get you fired, it got you erased. And just as that thought solidified, the phone on my desk screamed to life, a shrill, piercing sound that cut through the silence. I picked it up, my hand trembling. A voice, distorted and cold, crawled through the receiver. "You weren't supposed to see that?" Panic took over. I didn't think, I just ran. Out of the office, down the emergency stairs, bursting out into the cold night air. My breath plumed in front of me, a ghost in the darkness. The rain was heavier now, a physical force trying to push me back. I sprinted, my footsteps echoing in the empty streets, the city lights blurring into long, wet streaks. I ducked into a narrow alley, pressing myself against the cold, damp brick, trying to catch my breath, trying to make sense of the last 5 minutes. The sharp lines of shadow and light from a distant neon sign cut across my face. And that's when I saw her, a silhouette emerging from the deeper darkness at the end of the alley. She looked like trouble wrapped in perfume and secrets. "If you open that file," she said, her voice a low murmur that barely carried over the rain, "you're already dead." Her name was Lena Vale. I didn't know it then, but she was a ghost in this whole mess, tied to the conspiracy in ways I couldn't imagine. Her presence was both a warning and a strange, desperate lifeline. The images from the file flashed behind my eyes, the faces, the deals, the betrayals. It was a language of power I didn't understand, but I knew the grammar was written in blood. The city has its own brand of lawmen. Captain Dorsey was one of them. I'd seen his face on the news, a clean-cut smile plastered over a corrupt soul. In my mind's eye, I could see him in a dark office, a cigarette glowing like a single malevolent eye as he leaned on some poor soul for information. Lena broke my train of thought. She pressed something small and cold into my palm, a data drive. "This is your way out," she whispered, her eyes holding mine, "or your end." Before I could ask what she meant, the roar of an engine shattered the night. Headlights sliced through the fog, pinning us against the wall. We ran. The next few minutes were a blur of screeching tires, the slick asphalt reflecting the city's underbelly. We were prey, and the hunters were closing in. They say knowledge is power. In this city, it's a death sentence. And I had just been sentenced. We lost them somehow, shaking them off in the labyrinthine streets. I found myself in an old jazz bar, the kind of place that time forgot. A lone trumpet cried a mournful tune, a soundtrack for lost souls. The bartender eyed me nervously, polishing a glass that was already clean. He knew trouble when he saw it. I went to the washroom to splash water on my face to see if the man in the mirror was still me. And in the reflection behind me I saw him enter the bar. Captain Dorsey. I could see the bulge of a gun under his coat. The world exploded in flashes of light and the deafening crack of gunfire. Glass shattered, wood splintered. People screamed. It was chaos. Smoke filled the air, thick and acrid. I felt a searing pain in my side and scrambled out a back exit, stumbling back into the rain. It was cold, but it felt good, washing the blood from my wound, trying to wash away the sin of what I'd seen. I was hurt, alone, and running out of time. Then my phone rang again. That same distorted, chilling voice. "You think you can stop it?" It rasped, a sound like grinding metal. "The ash line runs through everyone." The ash line? What was it? A network? A conspiracy? A philosophy? I didn't know. All I knew was that I was caught in it. As dawn began to break, the light struggled to cut through the perpetual gray clouds. The city looked the same, but for me it was forever changed. Every shadow now held a threat. Every reflection held a pair of watching eyes. My name is Eli Mercer, and this is my story. The story of the file that wasn't meant for me, and the dark truth that now runs through my veins. Because in a city built on secrets, every shadow has a witness. And now I am one of them. Thanks for joining us for the first episode of The Ash Line. This is just the beginning of Eli's journey. If you want to find out what happens next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have a lot more stories to tell from the heart of Grayscale City. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think will happen to Eli. We'll see you in the shadows.